listeners. Welcome to those coming in. Happy Thursday. Hey, Danielle. Glad you're here. Welcome. If you are new, my name is Melissa Kaiserman, and I'm from MakerySpace.com. Actually, even if you're not new, that's still my name, and that's still where I blog. And I love to educate and equip Etsy sellers in the more left-brain aspects of running their creative business. So I get on, just about every weekday and just give some Etsy tips and thoughts about different things about selling, and a lot of them are questions submitted by viewers. So if you ever want me to talk about a certain thing, oh good, then you can either email me at melissa@makeryspace.com, or you can go, hey Christy, to makeryspace.com and click on our Periscope tab. And if you scroll down a bit, there's a form for filling out. So either way, the question will get to me. And I finally started organizing my really, really scary inbox yesterday. And I created a folder so that those questions will go directly there. Hi, Melissa in Texas. You guys, I am so not an inbox 0 person. I'm not even most of the time, not even an inbox 1000 person. I was ruthlessly unsubscribing from things yesterday because it is so out of control in my email inbox. Does anybody else relate? I get so inspired when I hear people talk about inbox 0, and I just think, wow, that is just awesome. I want to get there. And are you? I am so jealous. I am just not that way. And so I've got to readjust in my mind that I may not be an inbox 0 person. I may be an inbox a certain number, and then feel comfortable with being under that certain number. But I think unsubscribing is going to help a lot, because there's some things I subscribe to because I want a freebie or something, and then it's someone who's selling something, and so all the emails are just very salesy, trying to sell their service or their product, and I'm not going to buy it. So why am I continuing to read their email? So yeah. Well, I think that's great, Danielle. Your husband has over 20,000, Kareth. Oh, that would be really overwhelming. I will have to say, though, that I had thousands and thousands yesterday, and some were even unread. So I'll get it there. It's usually a couple times a year that I do this ruthless stuff and think that I'm going to be on track, and then I get off track again. It's terrible. So anyway, all that to say, I have organized it so that I don't lose those questions, and I have a folder for them, so they'll show up there and I can be answering them. So Patrice had asked about Etsy teams. No, you weren't just talking about unread, or I wasn't just talking about unread. I was talking about all my emails. Etsy teams, she wanted to know, are they worth it? What kind of commitment do they involve? How do you find the right ones to belong to? So I'm just going to share my experience and perspective with Etsy teams. But if anyone else has had a different experience, then feel free to chime in with that. I am not on a lot of Etsy teams, but the ones that I am on tend to be more along practical lines. My favorite teams are prototype teams. So if Etsy is testing out something new, like I've been on the shipping labels prototype, the conversation snippets prototype, shop stats prototype. I'm so curious, and I'm always loving to learn and experiment with things, that I totally hop on those prototypes, because I can, once I join the prototype, then I have that feature in my shop that they're testing out. And so I can play around with it and see how it works. And then they let you give feedback on the team, because that helps them to develop the prototype before they actually launch it to all sellers. And then, but if you hate it, all you do is just leave the team, and then the prototype disappears from your shop and it goes back to normal. So I think prototype teams are great if you want to try out some new things, because you get that functionality ahead of everyone, and you can, help them work out the bugs, and then you've got experience using it before it actually is live for all of Etsy. So I really like prototype teams. I also belong to a couple other practical teams. One that's on like taxes and legal issues and stuff. It's kind of a more, I don't know, the nitty gritty kind of stuff with running a business type of team. So it's not so much just selling on Etsy, but it's some of those issues. And I think that's really informative. And then I'm on two teams. Yeah, that's kind of left brain stuff, isn't it? I am on two teams related to SEO. There's really only one that on Etsy that I would really recommend. She's not accepting any new team members, but the posts are public. And that is the group that Cindy Lou Who runs. It's Etsy SEO Stats and Relevancy, something like that. I really feel like out of anyone on Etsy and in Etsy teams who talks about SEO, she knows the most about what she's talking about. So I feel pretty comfortable, not saying she's perfect and doesn't miss things, but I feel most comfortable recommending that team if you want to kind of see what's going on. And it's great too because she posts lots of links to stuff out there on the internet just about SEO in general, and she does focus on Google too, not just Etsy relevancy. So she's always sharing really informative stuff that Moz posts or Search Engine Land or those other ones that help you understand Google SEO even more. It's Etsy SEO Stats and Relevancy, and it's the one that's run by Cindy Lou Who. That's her Etsy name. So just look for the one that Cindy runs. And like I said, she's not accepting new members, but the posts are public, so you can read through them. No, she is not the one with a Facebook group. And then I think that's basically it for the teams. Yes, she has a blog too, Christy. Yes, that's really good. And I don't remember the name off of it. I think the name of the blog might be cindylouwho.com or something like that. But she does link to her blog in the team post, so you could look for that. She's very direct. And so I think some people, Cindy Lou Who has a blog. She's very direct in her responses and to the point. And so some people could get offended by that. I actually like it because she just just answers things the way that they are. And she keeps things on topic. If people come in there looking for shop critiques and stuff, or if they're posting in the Google SEO thread about, I don't know what her last name is. She just goes by Cindy Lou or Cindy Lou Who. So when I say who, I'm not trying to be funny. That's her shop name. Cindy Lou Who 2, I think, is her shop name. So yeah, I'm not trying to leave out her last name. I honestly don't know what it is. That's what the name that she uses. So she keeps people on track. If the thread is about Google SEO and people start asking about Etsy, she directs them to the Etsy thread. If it's about Etsy and they're asking about Google, she directs them. So she keeps things really on track, on topic. And so I think it's a great place to go and check out if you have questions. As far as some teams, when they involve like visiting each other's shop and favoriting and all that kind of stuff, my honest opinion is that is a waste of time. Unless you're just wanting to build community and get to know some people. If you're thinking that's going to be a good investment of your time to grow your shop, no, invest it somewhere else. If you have a brand new, unique, no one else has brand new. I'm not sure what you're asking there. If you're going to spend time, then spend time putting your product in front of your target market. Most Etsy sellers are not your target market. I do get a few orders from Etsy sellers, but they are in the minority, and just going and visiting and favoriting each other's shops is not going to really help you, and you're going to be spending a lot of time doing something that's not going to produce. Whereas if you decide, instead of taking that hour to do that, I'm going to take that hour to go target my audience on Facebook or on Pinterest or on Instagram. Spend your time where your target market is and not just hoping. Same with Facebook groups, which is not Etsy teams, but it's related. If you join a Facebook group that's all for promoting your Etsy shop and you're just going to visiting all these groups and putting a link to your shop, you're not really spending your time very well. How do you put your product in front of your target? Well, you are posting on Instagram, you're posting behind the scenes things or something new that you just finished. And, okay. Yeah, sometimes it is hard to type. Okay, as long as I answered your question. So that's what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend Etsy teams for that type of thing. I don't think that's a good use of your time. So has anyone else here had some experience with teams? I also belong to a local team for sellers in my area. Hi, Erica. Nice to have you. It is not very active. We were active for a while when we were doing a Christmas show here a couple of years ago. And so, Tracy, SM, catching what SM is. Social media. The Facebook groups that share on social media. I'm not sure what you mean by the Facebook groups that share on social media. Let me finish this thought and I'll get back to that. Our Etsy group, our local group, was active when we were going to be doing a show in one winter. So we were talking a lot about it back and forth. And that was kind of fun because that was all people right in my area. And it has not been active. Now, I know there are some local Etsy groups that are teams that are super active and they meet with each other outside. They meet with each other in their city or in their area, and they're really active, and they're also conversing through teams. So I think if you find a group in your area that's active, that would be another good investment because you're networking and connecting with other sellers in your area. And it might lead to doing some collaborations or doing a show or that kind of thing. Oh, you're very welcome. So someone was asking about what about the ones that liking and sharing each other's products on your own social media sites. I think the engagement, I think if you want to help other sellers, like if I changing to more of a Facebook type of algorithm where they're going to decide what to show in your feed and what to show towards the top and what to show lower down. So doing the same kinds of things that you would do on Facebook as far as engaging with a post are a really good idea that can benefit fellow sellers. So I definitely recommend that. So has anyone else had any kind of an experience with teams, good or bad, that you want to share? One that you're really glad that you're a part of, or things that you've found to boost new products? It's really debatable about whether or not that works because the search algorithm gives weight to when favorites come from being found in organic search. So if someone's going straight to your product that you've linked just to favorite it, the search algorithm isn't going to give you a boost from that. But if someone does a search for one of your keyword phrases and finds it in search and then clicks through in favorites or favorites it within search, then that's going to help with your relevancy. Someone asked about hashtags. Hashtags are definitely really important on Instagram and Twitter. On Pinterest, they're mostly discouraged unless you just want to use one or two. They're not super important. Facebook, I get mixed messages about that. Some people say they're not a big deal, and other people have said that they use them because, you can click the hashtag and then find related posts. It will bring up related posts with that hashtag. So I don't think they're as vital for sure as Instagram and Twitter. And there are people you can find out there that help you figure out what hashtags to use, some strategies to find out what hashtags to use on your products. Using a hashtag as part of the personality of the post. Because someone might be, looking for that kind of a feel. And so, love my job, And so they might be clicking through to your product. So it doesn't all have to be product-related hashtags. You just had a sale on Pattern? Oh, good, Tracy. That's exciting. I'd be interested. You should send me a screenshot to melissa@makeryspace.com of how that looks in your orders. Like, how does it show up? What is the little tag? Where does it show that it's from Pattern? Because I know they said they would tag those orders as coming from Pattern on your orders page. And I'm guessing it's on your invoice as well. So I'm just curious to see what that actually looks like. Any other feedback about teams? Okay. I did want to touch really quickly on the new shop design. Okay, this is so weird. I had the new shop design, and I think I told you yesterday that when I downloaded Firefox to my computer and looked for my shop, it was the old design, even though there was no cache to clear or anything because I just had installed it. So now in Chrome, I'm back to the old design too. Did that happen to anybody else? Anyone else revert? So I've cleared everything and I'm seeing the old design. So I have no idea why I'm back to that. But I did notice, I was Googling my shop name. Yeah, I've done everything. It's just really strange. I was Googling my shop name and just seeing how things were coming up in Google search results. And I was Googling the shop name of several friends that I have with Etsy shops. Now that the new shop design has been rolled out to a large number of people, and I noticed that when I did all that Googling and I looked at the cached page that Google had a picture of, all of the cached pages were in the new shop design. So they weren't like old caches that were like from 2 weeks ago before it flipped over. And I noticed most of the people I Googled, their snippet was that generic visit, blah, 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 for more handcrafted and artisanal items from Etsy or whatever. You know, that generic snippet that they're putting at as the meta description in the shop instead of using the shop announcement. But mine was not. My snippet actually showed the titles of my first 2 featured listings followed by the first sentence of my shop announcement. So it seems that maybe in some cases Google is deciding something else is more relevant than what Etsy has defined as the meta description. But in most cases I was finding they were just using the meta description that Etsy put in there. So it's going to be interesting to see how those shops end up getting indexed. If there's seems like maybe in some cases Google's going to override the meta description, and in some cases they're just going to use it. So we shall see. All right, any other questions? Or maybe I'll just tell you to save them for tomorrow, since tomorrow is Q&A, and then you can bring them at that time. Okay, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you then. Having trouble stopping my broadcast again. Thanks for the hearts to everyone who's here still. Powering down.